Zounds Hearing right over here in Laguna Hills. We have Ken Post on today, and good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
We were talking a little bit beforehand and about the time of the year that people seem to order hearing aids, and usually way before the holidays, so they're all prepped and ready to go. And now you were saying it's kind of picking up, but let's talk about first the initial thing, and that's coming in to take a hearing test, right?
Right. Initially, they'll come in and get tested to see if they need hearing aids. One thing that's most places do is they'll test what frequencies you can hear in your ears. We go further than that because what happens to people who don't get hearing aids and where their hearing goes really bad is that their brain stops interpreting words.
Okay.
And most people don't know it. It's called auditory deprivation. And it's just like we learned how to when we were little tiny babies, we learned speech, we learned to understand the words. The opposite happens if you stop hearing words. So if your hearing gets bad enough, you can actually stop interpreting the words, your brain stops, and even if we give you the perfect hearing aids that bring you right up and you can hear everything, it's just jibber jabber to your brain. Your brain no longer interprets it. So it's really important that number one, we test you for that to see where that's going, and if you've gotten to the point where you're not interpreting it, it doesn't really help to have the hearing aids at all.
Okay, yeah, that certainly makes sense. How long does a hearing aid or a hearing test take? If someone comes in, do they need to make an appointment, and the whole process?
Yes, we schedule usually an hour and a half for the whole process. But that includes the hearing test, the test to see what your comprehension is, and fitting a hearing aid. Because we actually stock the hearing aids, so once we've given you a hearing test, we'll recommend a certain hearing aid, we'll fit that to you, we'll actually put it on you, and you can actually listen to the hearing aid, see how much better you can hear there. We'll take you out into a noisy environment, noisier like out on the street where there's street noises. You can hear how good the hearing aid's doing for you. We have a couple restaurants near me, near the store, and they can actually go in that restaurant where it's even noisier and see how good the hearing aids work. And that's before they even purchase the hearing aids. Basically, they're fit. They can go out. And it takes about an hour and a half. We schedule a couple hours because some people have more questions. Some people have fewer questions. So it's around an hour and a half, give or take about 15 minutes.
Once it is decided that the person does need hearing aids, how long before they will receive them? Do you have to send in an order? Does it take a few days?
They get them that day.
Oh, really?
We're actually fitting a hearing aid for them, and if they like it, they walk out with the hearing aid. So
that's very nice.
Then at the end of the testing and whatever, we provide them a hearing aid.
And obviously you're going to help them how to set it up to use them. And of course with the Zounds here, and you've talked this before, you have a charging station, and you don't need to change the batteries that often with these at all. I mean, it's how long do the batteries last in here because they're getting charged?
The batteries will last a year to a year and a half.
Yeah, which is incredible.
Right, and we replace them for free for the life of the hearing aid.
And that's nice because these things are tiny. It's bad enough just trying to change a watch battery. Nobody wants to do that, but let alone one of these.
Yeah, I've watched my mom do it, and it's a struggle. We actually we have a little remote control that stays charged also on the station.
Let me turn it this way and that way. And I noticed here on this one, you were telling me you can customize the actual earpiece. Some people may want that.
You can see on this one it's got a little orange foam piece, which some people find really comfortable.
Okay, here, let me hold this so we can get this over here. In fact, maybe the best way I can do this is like that. And so this is how, is this how it normally comes like this?
There's several different of our standard pieces. Foam, there's silicone rubber, there's, they're all pretty small like that, and most people can use those. They're comfortable, especially the foam ones are very comfortable in your ear. Some people, there's something a little different with their ear canal, or maybe a little small, and they need a custom one. And
now, these they'd wait a little longer for.
These, well, what we'll
they
do
could get
is
the hearing aid.
They'll get the hearing aid with its standard tip, And
try
in
and
about
turn
a
this so it can be
week,
seen. There we go.
it takes about a week to get the custom one done, but that's all
Okay.
part of the price of our hearing aids. It's, if you need that, we have them made up. And
Okay.
we actually put some goo in their ear
Okay.
that gives us an exact
Oh, right,
fit
right,
of
makes a
their-
mold.
a
Okay.
mold, and then this piece is actually made based on that. We send that
Okay.
in, it's made up, and then it's mailed back to us.
Now, on these, the little foam things here,
Mm-hmm.
are they replaceable if they get dirty? Do they get like a set of them or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, we provide you several of those, and they just kind of pop on and off of there.
Right,
They're pretty
because
easy,
obviously
yeah.
after a while they're going to, you know, get kind of gungy and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Right? Is there a way, now, I mean, we've heard of ways to prevent hearing loss, and unfortunately, maybe by the time you get to a certain age, you've already done that damage. Let's face it, when we were younger, I certainly went to concerts and
We
you
all
know,
did,
you love
yeah.
that loud sound and just, you know, your ears are bombarded and things like that.
Yeah.
So a good chance that a lot of that damage may have already been done, right?
Right. That's a gradual damage
Yeah.
over many years, and that's sort of normal for our culture.
Yeah. In certain industries people work in,
In
obviously.
certain industries, it's even worse in terms
Yeah.
of that happens because they're constantly. It's not like you went to a concert and then another week you went to a concert. There's 5 days a week, 6 days a week. They're exposed to a lot of noise, and those people, when they're in their maybe could be in their 50s, they're having problems hearing.
Right.
Where someone who's not in that kind of super noisy area, it could be typically in their 60s and 70s before it happens. So.
Yeah, and you know, in many cases, you look at certain industries that people have been in, they never even thought to wear hearing protection. Maybe they worked at an automotive shop and you're hearing all the compressors and drills going off. Chances are, I think probably nowadays they wear that, but even 10, 20 years ago, they certainly weren't. They didn't even think about it, where if you were in another industry, you might have worn something like that, but there were so many of them, nobody would even think of doing that.
Yeah, that's true. It's a much more, people know more about it now, and there's a lot more people taking that. And so you have to also take it upon yourself.
Sure.
When you're in a noisy area, there's a little earplugs you can get to put in your ears that they look a little funny, but it's better than damaging your ears.
Yeah, I have things like that if I'm using power tools around my house and things like that.
Yeah,
So
I keep a little one in the glove box too. I got a little packet of them because I'm going to go to a concert and it's too loud for me nowadays.
yes, that's true. You get these hearing aids. Are they going to let you hear like when you were young?
Nothing's going to give you like a perfect hearing back to when you maybe were 20. We're going to get you back as close as we can. Our technology's really improved to the point where it's much, much better than the older hearing aids. The fidelity's better. You're going to hear a much nicer sound, and the noise reduction is incredible. What we can do now in a noisy environment to be able to hear people in a party.
Yeah.
It was almost unheard of back, 20 years ago, but the technology's got to the point that you get really good hearing, but not perfect. You're not going to have that absolutely perfect hearing that we're made. There's just too much damage. It's happened over so many years. The saddest part that I've learned a statistic lately is that the average person waits 7 years from when they start noticing they're having hearing problems until they actually do something about it. And that's like 7 years of struggling, trying to hear people, turning the TV up really loud. You've gone into a room where the TV's blasting, and it's just
that's true.
Grandpa there, and he's got to turn it up so loud that it's just totally blasting.
Well, you can see that Ken can help you out here, Zounds Hearing. He knows these products very, very well, and the importance of getting a hearing test. Maybe your hearing's perfectly fine, but you test them out because you never know. They can pinpoint some problems long before you can. And they're right over here in Laguna Hills. Their number is 949-715-9100. So thank you very much.
It's 215.
Oh, 215. Yes, it is 21. I had it right there. I was reading it wrong. 215-9100, and that is the right number on the screen. Thank you very much. It's good to have you. Always good to see you.
It's good to be here.
All right,
Thanks.
we'll be right back.
Okay.